I'm assuming we're live. Is that correct, Rachel? Perfect. Hello, everybody. we have two special guests joining us today. AJ, how are we doing? I see you're holding a little one.
We're good.
Full
I might
full-time
have,
dad, full-time
I
driver,
might, I
double
might
duty.
have messed up. I might have gave him too much Celsius to start off with here. So he's a little, he's ready to go. But see, this is what's great about my wife. I've got him all kind of ready to go, full of energy. And now I'm going to hand him back to her. Be like, okay,
Oh
there
no.
you go. Now you get to play. Arrow
To leave
James.
her with all the work now, with all the energy.
Yeah, that's smart.
This is not a medical advice show, everyone. This is how AJ does it at his house. We're not saying
Yeah,
you should give your child Celsius. We're just saying,
and for everybody that doesn't like to laugh, I'm just kidding. He didn't get any Celsius yet.
yeah. It's does he have a Celsius onesie though? I'm sure there's
I do think we
yeah.
have one of those. We had I think at Coda this year we had a Celsius little car for him to sit in
Cute.
outside the bus. So yeah, we got it all for him.
For Halloween, you can be dressed up as a Celsius can. Just get a
Yeah,
little.
we're working on Halloween. So last year, we had a mini driver suit for him already. So I mean, at that point he was quite young. So yeah, we're going through what he's going to be for Halloween. I think it might be a little too early for Ninja Turtle. I was a Ninja Turtle a couple of times as a kid. Might be a little
Yeah,
too early, but we got a couple months to figure that out.
Ninja Turtle would go pretty hard. That's actually a pretty smart costume with the family. That's awesome.
Uh, Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, he'll be just over 1 at that point, so I'm not sure if it's a little too early for Ninja Turtle. I think I was like
Yeah.
3 or 4, but yeah, like I said, Tara and I, we got time to figure it out. But he definitely will be dressed up as something because I'm going to take him trick or treating and then obviously eat all the candy myself.
Would the cat be Master Splinter then? In like an ironic kind of way, because it's a cat, not a rat.
Yeah, maybe we got 2 cats now. We got Chicken Nugget and Charlotte, and then we got the French Bulldog Xena. So we got a whole clan we can mix together in there.
Oh, perfect. You got a whole you can do a lot of
Yeah,
costumes. A
yeah.
lot of group costumes. Chat, please welcome, of course, the one and only AJ Allmendinger. You've seen him in Cup, you've seen him in Xfinity, you've seen him in trucks, we've seen him in the 24 Hours of Daytona and a win. We've seen him at the Indy 500. But I was told by an old friend of yours, Robbie Montanola, from Formula Car stuff that you guys did together, I should be asking you about your mini golf days back at Skip Barber.
Yes. Yeah. So we had many of National Series uh, championship rounds of mini golf during our days, and what you're going to see on this docu series is pretty much how I've been my whole life, and that's pretty competitive. And when things aren't going well, quite pissed off. So there's might have been a couple of club throws back then. Could
Okay.
be, yeah. But yeah, it's that's what you see is what you get with me, really.
So you haven't been banned from any mini golf courses. You're still welcome in a lot of them, even with the club throws.
Yeah, I mean, it's I try to make sure I'm as far away from AK the clubhouse of what mini golf courses are. So yeah, that's but there has been a couple of having to slide the club back into them, and hopefully they don't see it as I give it to them and quickly leave.
You you didn't see anything, hear anybody. You just here's my golf course.
Exactly. That club was bent when I got it, so it's fine.
Yeah. It counts. It counts. We have a question from, the YouTube. What is AJ's thoughts on this past weekend? Where were you? How
Of
was
Michigan, of
yeah.
Michigan this past weekend,
Like,
yeah.
what do
Of just in general of my weekend or what I thought of the racing or all the
of
above.
Michigan and the racing. I
Yeah,
mean, I was like, where do I even break down with these questions? Where do we even start with what happened during
yeah,
not only the Xfinity race, but we also have the Cup race. But let's start
yeah.
with the Xfinity.
So I won't lie, the Xfinity race, I hated that motor package.
Mhm.
It took away. The Xfinity car driving it is a lot of fun, especially in Michigan when you're carrying so much speed off into the corner and they're sliding around and um,
Interesting. Yeah.
just we didn't have that in this. It was low horsepower, wide open. I got kind of in the back. I felt like we were on the right strategy if it had played out and stayed green to where we were going to finish top 2 or 3. Allgaier was probably going to win the race no matter what there. But we were on the same fuel strategy as him, and a lot of those guys in front of us were either saving and probably not going to make it, or going to try to stretch it and hopefully run out. So we were on the right strategy. But I mean, I was literally almost wide open the whole run, running, passing one car here or there, and that's the speed of your car, and it's not a lot of fun. So it was difficult just for that challenge of trying to figure out. But I thought we did the best that we could. Probably got a little bit hurt by that late kind of yellow flag there, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we maximized. We did everything we could. We finished 10th.
Yeah.
The Cup race I thought was going really well. We were running 11th or 12th there, and right behind Tyler Reddick, which eventually is the one who won the race, and we had a lot of speed uh, with our leaf filter go to protection Chevy, so that was going really well. It's probably one of the best cars we've had all year in the Cup race that I've driven, and unfortunately blew the left rear tire, which was weird that everybody blew a tire on the same lap. I never
Right.
ran over something. I never felt anything. The previous tires, we never had any like issues where you thought, okay, like we're right on the edge of tire pressure or anything like that. And to blow a left rear, everybody else blew right rear. So I'm not really
Mhm.
sure. And unfortunately, when that happened, it stuck us on the racetrack. And then we didn't have the new system in the car to tow us back. So when they towed us back, we lost 4 laps. And then on top of it, them dragging me all the way back around the racetrack broke the diffuser out of the back of the car. So she didn't handle very well after that. So it was good and bad. I was really proud of the speed that we brought in the Cup side of it. I think we could have,
Yeah.
I don't know if we had a chance to win the race, but I think we definitely, the way that race played out, could have been top 5 to top 10 for sure.
Absolutely, and still, in Xfinity, you're 5th in points overall, and in the playoff picture, you have the highest points without current win. I think you're plus 122, 102. So, I mean, Xfinity, you're absolutely crushing it. I mean, consistency wins championships. We talk about this. We talk about your runs throughout the races. Xfinity is going extremely well for you, and we're excited to see that move on as we get into the playoffs too.
Yeah, I mean it's been a really kind of up and down year actually. It's been strange. It's been a difficult not getting a win. Obviously,
Mhm.
SVG's been super good on the road
Yeah.
courses, which we knew, and he's made me up my game, and I've just quite honestly struggled a little bit on the road courses to the point it's not like it'd be different if I was just finishing second to SVG in all the races there on the road courses. I've just
Yeah.
kind of for whatever this year with setup wise, I haven't clicked on anything with my crew chief Alex Yance and just our team in general. So, and I've probably made too many mistakes trying to find more speed in myself. I think that's something that people that watch this docu series. I mean, I wear my emotions kind of on my sleeve. Like you see if I'm happy, not happy. A lot of my frustration will become from myself. I feel like I'm letting all of the men and women down at Kaulig Racing when we're struggling. So when I get frustrated, it's like it's mostly at myself. So part of it is trying to make our race cars faster. I think over the last couple of months we really have. It's not quite there yet on the ovals of contending to win, but I feel like we're at least on
Mhm.
an upward trend of finding speed, and that's all you need. You got to first make the playoffs. We're in an okay position. We don't have any bonus points right now, so we're definitely working on that. But I feel like we're at least on the right trend of making our race cars faster, and that's the most important thing. We've been in the point where we've won a regular season we won 2 regular season championships, and I felt like going in the playoffs, like I don't think we really got a chance to win a championship. We don't have that speed, so I think we're making gains, and hopefully we make the playoffs, and once we get there, uh, really do something with it.
I mean, you're touching on all the variables that you can't control as a driver, right? Like you can have the best you just know how to, let's say, pass the pack, do these incredible passes and keep your position. Maybe you can have the car, but at some point you have all these variables that is out of you and colleagues' control, right? Someone can spin out. You had nothing to do, no one had anything to do with it except someone just loses it and you just get um collected in the big one, right? How do you kind of deal with that as a driver? These just things that are just out of your control. Because as someone with I guess I say anxiety, right? Because I like things in my control, and that's why, my stream is nice, it's my setup, like, everything I can do to my power, except maybe when my internet connection goes out, um, and I feel good about it, like, I've done the best I could, I've researched, I do these things, but how do you guys as drivers just have to sometimes you just let it go? You're just like, "Oh, nothing I could have done. Hakuna Matata."
I'm probably not the best guy to ask. I'm not very good at kind of letting it go. I
You and
mean,
me both.
yeah, but it's part of racing. I mean, I've 2 years ago in the Xfinity series, we at times struggled to run inside the top 8, top 9, but we finished somehow fourth every, or sixth every. I think my average finish for the year was like a 6.3. And it just everything worked out right. On the super speedways, crash would happen, I'd miss it. This year, I think that's what's been tough at times. There's don't get me wrong. I've made too many mistakes trying to push too hard at times, but there was a lot of races, especially early in the year when we were trying to find our footing. Where Martinsville is a perfect example. We dropped the green and we started, I think 14th. I drove right up to fourth in the first stage, and I thought, okay, we got a real chance. We got not just to run top 5. I thought we got a chance to win this race. And then on a restart, somebody missed a shift and we get destroyed in it, and you finish 38th. Phoenix, we were running okay, and you lose a motor, things like that. It's the flows of motorsports. There is a lot of things out of our control. So I guess more than anything, I focus on me trying to be better. When I make a mistake, I'm the first one to speak up and say I got to be better. Uh, but at the end of the day, I think it's more about part of the reason I'm back in Xfinity this year is trying to make our race cars faster. So, that's how mentally I go about it. It's like, okay, yeah, you want to win the race, but were we way more competitive than we've been, 2 months ago? Or were we like Martinsville? Did we really have a shot to win the race? Heck yeah. And it was out of our control of getting caught up in it. So I guess that's how I try to look at it, especially when things kind of quote unquote is bad luck or not going your way.
I call racing fans masochists because, like, how do we enjoy seeing our favorite drivers, like, they're doing their best and then just something out of their control just completely ruins a race that they have like, they couldn't do anything about, and we're like, "I guess we'll watch next week and hope that doesn't happen again," and we somehow tune in every single time and hope for the best.
Yeah, I mean we're a traveling circus. Like it's like at times it can be the greatest show on earth, and sometimes it is just a huge soap opera, which is what part of we're all part of it. And uh, but yeah, I mean that's what's great, especially about NASCAR in general. I mean it's a lot of races, so if it's
Yeah.
going well, you're super pumped every weekend. Like, hey, we're on a run here. Like, let's go again. If it goes bad, you got to race next week. So you got to get over it quick and go figure it out. And that's just a part of it. And as fans, everybody gets to watch it, the good and the bad that goes with it.
You talk so highly about the Kaulig Racing team, about everyone who's working on the car, improving time after time. A question we got from the NASCAR Discord is, "What's the best part about working with Kaulig Racing?"
Yeah. So what and this is probably this year is a perfect example. And, for anybody that's been around our team or, that'll get to see kind of up close and personal during this series is Matt and Chris, especially, and it's all the men and women, but I always, because Matt being the owner, it starts with him, and Chris being really the leader of the team at the shop. Uh, we will go to war together, and we will hold each other accountable for good and bad things of if mistakes are made. But Matt and Chris especially, like they're if you're their driver, they are 100% behind you. They can know that it's your fault, and they will still still go to battle. And that's what I've always loved about it. There's and they see, like with me specifically, they all will always see how much pressure I put on myself, so they don't ever have to add any of what's going on. They're always trying to kind of ease that pressure a little bit and help me with not putting so much pressure on myself. But that's what I've in my 6 years and longer, that as we go into next year and hopefully a few more years, they will always care about their people. And I'll give a quick example of during COVID when a lot of race teams were having to cut salaries, and maybe people were losing their jobs. Matt was the first person to speak up, and that at that time I was just part time, so I didn't really have uh, a lot invested in the team at that point. But I remember just Matt calling me weekly all the time, just making sure I was okay. But he was the first one to tell everybody at the team, like, hey, your pay's not getting cut. Like, we're going back racing at some point, and I don't want anybody struggling up until then. Paychecks are showing up on time. It's not being delayed. And they just truly care about their people. So that's what I love about this team is they make it a lot of fun off the racetrack, which you'll see a little bit as well. But more than anything, they truly care about you, and we all go to war together. There's no finger pointing. It's we're in this together.
I mean, you mentioned you're the first person to say that if you've done something wrong. So taking that responsibility and being like, "Hey, we're part of this together." Like, I'm a big Michigan fan, so Bo Schembechler, the team, the team, the team. One person's bigger than the team, right? You're all in this together. So it just sounds like exactly what you're getting from Kaulig Racing.
Yeah, and it's we're hard on each other. Like, and I always laughed that Chris would get annoyed at me when I mean, it's part of the reason why I came back full time racing was because after my first year I was like, hey, this team's kind of fun. We did like 6 races together. We won at the Roval, and then came back the second year and started doing a few more races, and then that really just kind of that kind of brought me back. And it was like I was calling him constantly, like, hey, I'm watching TV right now. Our cars aren't very good. Like, what do we got to do to make these things better? And he's like, man, we just got to get him in the race car so he stops annoying me so much. So, but yeah, I mean, that's every person, man and woman on this team. They have something to do with these race cars and the success of this race team, and that's how we go about it.
Speak about getting back in the race car. I mean, 2025, full-time cup. How are we feeling with, I think more people are finally saying, like, yes, we love street tracks like Chicago, something that plays exactly to your strength. And we're seeing NASCAR trying to do something different with strategies with the option tire. How are you feeling about going into 2025 full-time cup?
Well, I mean, I think it wasn't conventional about the way we kind of went about this. I kind of made no secret at the end of last year I wanted to stay in Cup, but what always builds confidence in me is what Matt and Chris believe of how I can help Kaulig Racing as a whole just be more successful. So they wanted me to come back to Xfinity to try to help get that program moving forward again. It was kind of struggling. Hopefully it's going in the right direction, but I wanted to be back full time in Cup. I don't know how many more years I got. I they keep asking me like, well, how long you want to do this? I'm like, I'll be honest, if it's going well and you believe in me and you think I can still go do the job and we're getting better, like I'll keep doing it for as long as possible. We only, you live once. Like, I've been paid to drive race cars for 22 years. So, part of having Aero James and my wife Tara this is my way of providing for the family, but I truly enjoyed the success of it. I think I don't get excited leading up to it because I do put so much pressure there, but when it's successful, or I feel like I'm helping us succeed, that's what I love being a part of. So that's why I wanted to go back Cup racing. What the schedule is now, and what NASCAR does. I think it's the most exciting time when it comes to a variety of different reasons, whether it's tracks, tires, places that we go. So yeah, for many reasons, I wanted to go Cup racing, and that's why we made the decision. And hopefully on the Xfinity side of it, we find a couple of young guys that are the future of Kaulig Racing, and I build the Cup program to where that's where they want to be, and that's hopefully the plan.
Well, another reason why you're also on the show today is because NASCAR Studios and Kaulig Racing have a 4-part documentary that's going to air each Monday starting next week on the 26th, if I'm correct, on NASCAR's YouTube channel. We do have a little bit of a sneak preview. We do have that preview of trophy hunting that we're going to play for the chat right now.
The Xfinity Series, I've always reluctantly called it AAA baseball. but it's more than that.
Xfinity has found this magical way of being their own.
The races are shorter. There's names that you know. There's names you don't know yet, but you're going to know.
Xfinity has the perfect tagline, where names are made.
It's the ultimate trophy hunting series.
It never disappoints.
I cannot believe what I just saw.
Kaulig Racing is one of those competitive teams in the series. This team was designed for success. You've got the old school racer, Josh Williams.
He has parked at the start-finish line.
That's a new one.
Shane Van Gisbergen, one of the best road course racers on planet Earth.
Superb performance by Shane Van Gisbergen. Shane Van Gisbergen wins Chicago.
And AJ Allmendinger, he's won on every level and has been in NASCAR nearly 2 decades.
AJ Allmendinger.
Allmendinger wins.
AJ Allmendinger, third straight win at the Roval.
What is it like to be a driver?
Look at you two. We win trophies. We're going to Judge Bullet. Look at this stud.
It's your life. It's not for the faint of heart.
This season hasn't been great.
Right off the racetrack.
Dude, it knocked the steering wheel out of my hands.
Fired. Sadly, people lose their job over it.
We quit having fun last year.
I can't help but be in love with the Xfinity series. We're trophy hunting.
Back-to-back victories, Shane Van Gisbergen.
We're fighters. We want to win a championship.
You just can't give up.
Why in the world are they doing this? It's because they love it.
AJ, have you watched the 4-part series yet? Have you seen it?
I have not. So, I mean, I've lived it, but I have not actually seen it.
You're like, I was there when they filmed it.
Yeah, it's and you know, it's they've I feel like, I mean, for everything that we've done, you see the at-track stuff, you see some of the fun that we have off the racetrack. It's a great mix of kind of what, you know, life in NASCAR is all about, and more importantly, what life at Kaulig Racing really is all about. But yes, I will be watching with everybody else to see the good, the bad, and the ugly, really, of you know, what I've done in this docuseries and what this team's done. You know, like, and it's a perfect example just in that it's not been a great year, but it has been a great year to a certain degree. SVG coming over, I mean, he has 3 wins on the road courses. You know, we've had ups and downs on the ovals. He's learning on the oval. Josh, you know, his first time being at a you know, quote unquote big team. And, you know, for us at the 16, the expectations and the ups and downs of that. So, I mean, I think people will really enjoy of seeing kind of the ins and outs of what Kaulig Racing is and just how this year has gone.
And I just appreciate that it's airing in like a very, if you can't watch the premiere, you can just watch it at a later date because it's going to be available on the YouTube in the 4-part series. So, and I also like their emphasis on AJ Allmendinger, 2 decades in NASCAR, a little subtle. He's been here a bit. I know he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, that's sort of the way of saying I'm quite old. So, but that's okay. You know, I'm still going.
And you're like, I'm going to stay here as long as you'll have me. I'm not going anywhere.
That's the plan. I don't really have. I mean, this talent's sometimes questionable, but I can promise you, I don't really have any other talents. So this is the way that I make a living, and this is the only thing I've done my whole life. I mean, I've been racing BMX bikes at age 5 and quarter midgets and go-karts. This is all I've done since pretty much I was born, watching my dad race locally at dirt tracks in California. So I know nothing else. I enjoy other things, but I know nothing else to do.
When I talk to drivers from, let's say, GT World Challenge, right, coming up in like single make series, Toyota GR Cup, they have, you know, GT World TCR, things like that. I always ask, I was like, if you weren't racing here, where would you be racing? And everyone says anything. I don't care. Put me in a car. I want to be in a car. I am willing to work. Just put me in one. I don't care what it is. I just love racing.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, I think we look at motorsports sometimes as this, you know, this huge thing, which in a way it is, but to a certain degree, if you look at the population of, you know, the world and all the other sports that are around, you know, motorsports to a certain degree still is a small niche sometimes. So there's not, you know, if you play professional football in the NFL, I mean, there's 1,250 spots available to be a professional football player. In basketball, you know, there's 12, 13 man teams. You can be a professional basketball player. There's 450 spots in the Cup Series. There's 36 spots. In Xfinity, there's 36 spots. In Formula One, there's 20 spots. You look at IndyCar, there's 25 rides. I mean, it's hard to be a professional race car driver. And, I think there's hundreds of thousands of young kids and middle-aged people and even older people that would love to be a professional race car driver. And, there's a lot of series that allow that, but yeah, to get to the elite of the elite, it's tough to do. So, it's not always fair. Sometimes it's money based. Sometimes it's talent based. It's being at the right place at the right time. I think other sports, sometimes it's about, yeah, if you're talented and you do the right things, you're probably going to be a professional player, but it doesn't always work like that in motorsports.
Yeah, you see a lot of talent coming from colleges, right? We watch college football, college basketball, et cetera. You see that talent moving on up, especially when you go to the drafts, things like that. We don't have a motorsport. There's no motorsport teams in colleges. There's no University of Alabama. There's no right? We're not doing it. So, a lot of different ways to also get into motorsports, which also can be complicated to figure out, whether it's the money wise, Skip Barber wise, or anything like that. So,
Yeah,
it's
I mean, it's very difficult. It can be very frustrating sometimes. I always tell people that I felt like I earned my way, but I was also very fortunate that I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. I would win in one series, and I'd meet the right person for the next series. There's a lot of people that didn't get that opportunity. My parents mortgaged their house 3 different times when I was a kid just to keep me racing. It's not a fair sport sometimes, especially trying to get to the elite level.
They also mentioned, of course, that you've raced and also IMSA. We've seen you in Indy. Are there any plans to go back to maybe run IMSA or the Rolex 24? Always cool to see NASCAR drivers do a little
Yeah,
bit more.
yeah. So my brother from another mother, old Mike Shank. I love me some Mike Shank. It's I had done Rolex for so many years in a row with Mike Shank and what is now Meyer Shank Racing. They took a off year this year. They're going back. It's a little bit more, I think, like challenging now because of them being with Honda, and I completely get it. They want their Honda drivers in that car, whether they're IMSA drivers or they're IndyCar drivers. But I would definitely go back with Mike Shank and Meyer Shank Racing. That if there's other opportunities for Rolex 24, I would look at it. But part of that race became so fun for me was because of my relationship with Mike Shank, and we had done it from 2006 basically through 2019 for so many years in a row. So yeah, I mean I would love to do it. I love IMSA. I love those cars. I love the variety of cars, whether it's the prototypes or even the GT cars. So yeah, I would always go back and do that for sure. I think the ultimate race I still would love to run is Le Mans. That's I've been between Justin Wilson and Mike Shank and Oz Negri and a couple of my really close friends that went and did that race. They were like, it's the coolest race they've ever been to and been a part of. So maybe some point.
Okay, well, if you ever need everyone watching to tag a team for Le Mans, or like if you're Meyer Shank, we can go do that. You have the power of the internet. We can go on Twitter and be like, "Hey, please give AJ Allmendinger a ride. Thank you." We don't even have to be that polite. We can just demand it.
Well, the one problem about the NASCAR schedule is it does not allow that. That's what's difficult. We race every weekend, so it makes Le Mans a little challenging to get to.
Yeah.
So maybe in a couple of years. Yeah, maybe we'll make that happen in a couple of years. I'll try to stay on
All
your
right,
good
Chad.
side. Yeah.
All right, yeah, Chad. Don't get activated just yet. Just keep that energy that we're feeling here for when NJ's ready. And I know you've also dabbled in broadcasting around IMSA and did IndyCar commentary, I believe, for the Iowa race. Do you have interest in doing more commentary and broadcast? Because we've seen the drivers' broadcasts of a bunch of folks trying this year, and it's just your insights that you guys provide are just just different than what other analysts or folks who've never been in a car as much as you have can. So any interest in continuing doing that maybe later down the line?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I was very fortunate to, work with the NBC group, and especially my first year, they gave me like the full try everything. So to be able to work with Lee Diffie and Calvin Fish on a full time basis for IMSA, it was like I couldn't have asked for two better people to work with. I think both of them are just absolutely amazing in their craft and what they do. And they made it so much easier on me because I had no idea what I was doing. So they're like, man, just talk like you're, talking to your buddies about racing. This is what you're supposed to do. So those two made just learning how to do it so much easier. But because of that, it made me have a lot of fun with it. And then I went and was able to do the broadcast for the IndyCar race at Iowa. I think one of the coolest things ever is my favorite form of racing to this day still is Supercross. I wanted to be a Supercross rider when I was a kid. Like I was racing BMX bikes because I wanted to be a Supercross rider, and that was the next step until my mom was like, hell no, you're not getting on a motorcycle. So I got to go do the Meadowlands Supercross broadcast with Ralph Shaheen and Ricky Carmichael. And like that, I was like a kid in a candy store. Like it was so cool. I'd grown up for so long listening to Ralph Shaheen, and Ricky Carmichael was one of my favorite Supercross riders. So that was a special moment. So yeah, that was probably a long answer, but yeah, I would love to do it when it's the right time again.
Perfect. Again, if you let us know when you're ready to do that, and we will activate the chat and your fans in the YouTube, and we will do it.
Well, everybody just start, like writing down a notebook because, it's going to happen at some point. So yeah, like so all we got to do is get me doing TV stuff once I'm retired and to go to Le Mans. So that's simple. Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, that's the internet has done, may I say, worse. So I think getting you to Le Mans is probably.
Is that a bad thing? Is that?
Oh, no.
I'm not sure how to take that, Ash. Okay, all right.
I'm saying it's probably the best thing the internet can possibly do is get you to Le Mans.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's way better. Yeah, for sure.
Really quickly, we know we're going over your time, so we appreciate it so much. Want to ask about Daytona coming up. We know you're just racing in Xfinity. I know last year at MRM, you were asked what your goal was, and I liked your quote. It said "win or crash."
Yeah.
I believe that was for Cup, but is that kind of the ultimate mindset you're going for in a super speedway like Daytona? You're like, race of attrition. We just got to do this.
Yeah, I mean, it's I've always I hate super speedway racing, but everybody's like, you're pretty good at it. I'm like, yeah, because I hate sucking more. So like that's part of it. I don't like. There's still it's called trophy hunting for a reason at Kaulig Racing. They hand trophies out at every race. So whether I hate the track or not, you still have to go try to win the race. So I have a good feel of super speedway racing, but it's just half the time it's out of your control, maybe even more than half the time. So I've always looked at it as you just try to make all the right moves, and if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and you don't want to be the one that causes the big one. Like, and that's all. Like to me, that's all you can ask for is like, hey, I'm going to try to make all the right moves and give ourselves a chance to win, and hopefully, I'm not the reason that the big one starts, and I hope I'm not in it. So we've been really close at Daytona. I've finished second there. I finished third there. I've been leading down the back straightaway, like on the last lap, at least like 4 different times. So we'll have a great shot at it. But yeah, you do all you can and hope that inevitably the big one will happen and you're not in it, and on that white flag that you got a shot to go win the race, and that'll be the plan.
So we know you're going to win Xfinity. We're not going to talk about that. Do you have any predictions? Anything? Maybe you can do far-reaching predictions, or maybe obvious predictions, whichever way you want to go for the Cup race.
For the Cup race, ooh, that's a good one. I mean, I think it's the Cup race especially is. This is the race, and I know there's Darlington after. Usually the Daytona has been the cutoff race, and you still have Darlington, but I think at Darlington, as a race team and driver, man, we probably don't have a shot to win that race, or it'll be a surprise if we win Darlington. At Daytona, anything can happen. So,
Yeah.
it's in a way, it's better. Kyle Busch is in a better position at Daytona in the sense of he just knows he has to win. Guys like Chris Buescher and Bubba and Ross, even Ty Gibbs, he's only about 35 above the cut line, and you get caught up in the first wreck there, you can lose that gap really quick in points. So it's tough because you're kind of racing defensive, but you still have to go up there and get the stage points. So those guys are in a tough position. Guys like Kyle and everybody on back from that, the ultimate goal is to win. Points don't matter. So if I had to make a bold prediction, I say KB has a walk-off because it's not the last race of the regular season, but walk-off win and locks himself into the postseason. Because I'm sorry, I don't. I know, and because we're a part of the RCR Alliance, and we're as a group trying to make everything faster and be more competitive. I just cannot picture the playoffs without Kyle Busch. So I just don't see it happening. So Kyle's going to win.
Everyone, update your NASCAR fantasy. You heard it here first. Kyle Busch, put him in, not in the garage.
Yeah, starting lineup.
If you can put all Kyle Busch in your starting lineup, that'd be great. But I know you can only use drivers 10 times and then resets. Yeah. Thank you so much, AJ, for joining us. A lot of fans in the chat saying, great racer, love your driving, can't wait for you to win, excited to cheer you on. And of course, from our favorite Mamba, Chief Hype Officer, for those of you who might not know Mamba, but you've definitely heard him during driver introductions. Mamba wants me to ask you, if you're getting too old during driver intros, excuse me, because he wasn't impressed by your jumping, your height this past weekend in Michigan. So he's wondering if you can make that up at Daytona.
It's funny that Mamba talks about who's getting too old. The reason I didn't want to go full bore against him is because he blew something out in his leg at the beginning of the year by taking a bad step or something. So he's the one talking about old, yet he's been limping around all year, and he's got an ACL or Achilles or whatever he wants to call it blown out. And so yeah, my at 42 jump is a little bit better than his at 30, and he's falling apart way quicker than I am. And tell Mamba, well, he's listening. Mamba, careful with your words, son, because you still want me to sponsor you in some races.
We will clip it and send it to Mamba if he's not listening, so he knows.
Yeah.
But yeah, this weekend you better just full send it.
I'm taking him down. I'm going full jump and trying to knock him down.
AJ, thank you so much for your time. We greatly appreciate it. Everyone, make sure you root for AJ Allmendinger. Check out the trophy hunting documentary as well. The NASCAR Studios Kaulig Racing 4-part documentary airing on August 26th. AJ, we can't wait to root for you this week.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I love all the fans, whether they love or hate me, and hopefully they watch this thing and realize that he truly is really crazy. So yeah, it's the way it happens
in the best way possible. Thank you so much, AJ.
Thank you, guys.
All right, chat. That was AJ Allmendinger. Again, AJ, thank you so much for joining us and taking the time. NASCAR drivers got a lot to do, and he also has a small child at home, so I can imagine juggling all of that and family and taking care of everything and coming on here and yapping with us. YouTube, welcome on in. We usually do the show on Twitch, and we're co-streaming here on the YouTube for the first time. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. That was fun. I love having folks stop by and say hello. A little bit more colloquial here on the Twitch chat. We collected those questions, by the way, from the Discord. So if you're interested in ever submitting questions for any interviews that we have here on the Twitch channel, feel free to join the NASCAR Discord channel. NASCAR Discord space. Oh my gosh, I sound like a boomer right now. Welcome on in, everyone. That was AJ Allmendinger. You can root for him this weekend. And moving on to the rest of the show, we have the news from this past week, per usual. It was fun. We love it when, AJ, I think AJ is just also, inherently a good dude, if that makes sense. Like, it's easy to talk to him. It was just like logged in, say hello, joking right away. It was just fun and put me at ease, a little less nervous. And it was just like, I thought I had a great time. Love versatile drivers. AJ has always been my favorite. Pretty sure mine was asked. Yay. You're absolutely welcome. Try to get through as many as we can. Trying to respect his time. He stayed 10 minutes over, which I greatly appreciate, but I have a tendency to yap. So, again, Sabrina says, Kyle Larson, AJ Allmendinger win. Done. We can do that. I can see what I can do. I can't do much for my basement in Charlotte, North Carolina, but we'll be rooting for them. The news per usual, we talked about, you guys heard about the penalties from to Austin Dillon and Joey Logano from the previous race weekend. I don't believe that was big news. I think have we all talked about it? Do we feel like we've discussed it enough? I feel pretty good about everything that's been there. We also have Mark Martin making it to a Gucci Mane song, which I did not have that on my NASCAR bingo card for 2024, to be honest. The Clash is going to Bowman Gray Stadium for next year. So that's something to look for. What's up above the yellow line? I think that is probably the biggest news from this week that I've seen a lot of folks contentiously, if that's even a word, debate on the social media. I did like the Clash of the Coliseum. A lot of folks have questions about Bowman Gray Stadium switching over, but the thing I always, you just got to do it once and then see what we say and go from there. Gucci Mane is now officially a Mark Martin stan, as we say. So I don't think we have anything there. And 4 women finished in the top 10 for Venturini Motorsports in ARCA. That is correct in the family there. That was the news from this weekend, which was for the first time, not even in ARCA and a NASCAR regional series, but I believe in NASCAR, 4 women in the top 10 and 2 in the top 3, which is huge. The best take I saw about it is that we don't need both the Clash and the All-Star in North Carolina. Spread the love a little bit. Interesting. One for the base and one for the growth. Oh, look, Bob and Gray, I'm getting my popcorn. Don't need both the Clash and the All-Star in North Carolina. Yeah, we talked about. Oh, wait. I was like, did we talk about other motorsport series? I guess because of the Clash the way it is, right? Non-points, good season opener, something to get everyone going, gets the people going. Starting up the season, Bubba Gray has been feisty. I think it's going to be a good. We'll be entertained, and is that not the point? I think we'll be entertained, absolutely, for the Clash. I do what you're saying about the All-Star and the Clash for growth. Something about NASCAR in North Carolina just kind of makes sense where your base is. Seam in the YouTube denoting they haven't been in North Carolina both for years now, though. So, Trigger says something about the Venturini that I just like to know. It says, "Who cares? They're all just drivers." Well, it matters for the representation's sake, right? If you're a little girl, you don't see someone who looks like you. You want to. You don't picture yourself in that role. So it matters for folks who want to picture themselves as drivers, as mechanics, which is why we highlight a lot of women in motorsports personally, because we want to show that it's possible and just be like, hey, we're out here too. So something simple as that, just for someone watching who might be a little younger and not think there's a space for them, it just shows that there is. And I think it's just an easy, nice mention. I think Gray is going to be a fan. I can't say the rest. A fantastic shizo show. And what more can we ask for as fans, Toxic? Me encouraging the Iron Dames to enter NASCAR? Ooh, I'd love to see a full pink NASCAR at all times. If you want to email the Iron Dames, I believe their schedule is pretty full, but we can see if we can do an Iron Dames NASCAR collaboration. Yeah, Kratz, but you just want to ignore those and move on. So yes, we did just have AJ on. So if you want to see the interview that we just did with AJ a little bit about it, you feel free to go back into the VOD or go back into the VOD after we end the show so you can rewatch that part. But again, thank you, AJ Allmendinger. Now, moving on to the Xfinity race, we're going to go watch through the Michigan highlights and kind of just talk about it a little bit. So chat going on.
There have been 13 different winners in the last 13 Xfinity Series races here at Michigan. Could it be 14 straight, Dave Burns?
The countdown is on. The playoffs just 6 races away, and someone wants to win their way into those playoffs that currently isn't there. It's NASCAR Series, Xfinity Series Racing from Michigan, the Cabo Wabo 250. Pace car is off of the track. That puts the field back into the hands of Sheldon Creed, who won the pole yesterday. Now, what can he do with it? Creed, Herbst, see the green flag. We're racing in Michigan. Working to get up to speed. As we see it 3 wide for the lead now. A big push coming from the 19. Taylor Gray is going to take the lead here at Michigan, but only for a moment. Here comes Sheldon Creed in the 18 on the outside. Taylor Gray on his own, running 7th, was right down by the apron, and around he went, bringing out the caution for the first time here at Michigan.
Everything looks fine, and then right there, back of the car just comes around on him, Steve. We talked about the balance between downforce.
You have 15 laps on tires. You're starting to lose some mechanical grip. That's way when that arrow, that crutch, that side force you're leaning on like a cane goes away.
And Steve, with them staying out when that caution came out, you also would not expect. And the 18 of Creed, the leader. Around he goes.
Lock it down, lock it down, lock it down. Get her straight here. Get her.
Turn 3. Watch him gain getting into turn 3. Now, the 18's up the racetrack a little bit, and now he's pulling the air off the back of the car. That's the second Joe Gibbs Toyota we have seen spin out with no contact. That tells us they qualified fast. There's your pole sitter. He has low downforce in that car. The minute that Riley Herbst put his front bumper at his rear bumper, around he went, all the downforce left the car.
Fought back to the inside, now for the lead. Ryan Sieg in the 39 makes the move on the 7. Will there be a crossover move? Here comes back to the bottom. The 7 of Allgaier, side by side down the backstretch. And look at these two. Now a push by Chandler Smith. Sieg is going to surge ahead. As the 7 drops back, can he hold on to 4th? The 9 of Brandon Jones to the inside. But Ryan Sieg has surged ahead. Sieg trying to win the stage, and he'll grab it. Second stage win for Ryan Sieg. A little bit of precipitation has come down, so they brought the field onto pit road. They'll red flag it, and we'll take a look at the track.
The rain really ruined the vibes this weekend.
As they're back underway with stage 2. Door to door as they enter turn 1. Three wide for 3rd. And now jockey for position. He gets caught. Austin Hill sideways on the backstretch into the grass. He'll slide back up into the field. Let's see if he can keep it down. He does. Caution comes out. So he's on the outside, and you see him coming back across the field right to that point, and then off the front bumper.
I think that's the 88 of Qualpel. I don't believe the 88 did anything wrong. He's holding his lane. You know, the 98's just going to pop out of line and kind of easily go by the 30.
Oh, contact made into the wall hard. Did not clear Sieg and got into the wall with the right front. The 9 of Brandon Jones is sideways. Oh, and a little contact there as well. The 1 of Sam Mayer caught up in this.
Herbst got a big run. Tries to get back in front of him and just completely misjudges it.
It's a
Yeah,
bold
just
strategy,
simply
Cotton.
not clear. Wants to come up, try to open that entry into turn 3.
He has so much momentum here. He thinks he's clear. He's trying to cover that outside, and the 39 had to lift. The 9 got into him.
To your point, Jeff, I think that he's passing the 39 with such pace that he thinks he's going to easily go by him. And at the same time, the 9 kind of gets to the 39's bumper and surges the 39 forward, which changes the pace of overtaking.
Good sign here as Riley Herbst, winner of the Indy race, last time Xfinity Series was on the track, climbs out, and listening to what he said on the radio before he climbed out of the car.
Clear. Tight. Hold the brake. You all right, buddy? Yeah, I hooked it right when I heard clear. Yeah, you're all right.
So that right there.
So he was not clear?
He was being called clear by his spotter.
Middle of the track, John Hunter Nemechek in the 20.
Unfortunate how that happens.
Looks like he's got a big enough gap in front.
Mere seconds.
And John Hunter Nemechek will win stage 2.
Pretty impressive, too, the way the 20 was able to just kind of stay out there 4 or 5 car lengths clear.
AJ Allmendinger in the 16 in front of them, and they go spinning behind them. The 10 involved in it. So Daniel Dye. There's the 10 of Daniel Dye sliding down the racetrack now.
Lawless
the 15,
Allen.
Yep, Lawless Allen.
Yeah, Daniel Dye, Lawless Allen. Felt like a truck race.
You're leaking fluid, you can just stop.
There's the 15.
Yeah, they are.
Three wide on the
Drivers
bottom.
are.
Yeah, there
okay.
you go. Lewis chases it up, catches the 27 and the 10. Jeb kind of gets it going. No, he ends up spinning around in the grass. The 10, Daniel Dye doing
I do
nothing
appreciate
wrong.
Chad's
3
concern,
wide
though.
top.
Safety's number
15
one.
just gets
Always.
loose. Bad air situation. You see him chasing the back and then goes up the hill.
Sees part for the 97. And Dave, what about the 7?
Oh, here goes that pass for the lead, Rick. Just as we say that, will Carson Kvapil get it? Yes, it looks like he is going to, but these passes have been tough.
We'll see if the 20, he is going to drop in behind the 88, so Kvapil does take the lead.
And this makes more sense. If the 20 is going to try to connect to the end of this race, second in line to a car that's inferior on fuel is the place to be. 7. A bunch of traffic.
What did Sheldon Creed do in a past life?
We don't think about traffic.
It's something
in
I would have liked to talk
situations
about.
this, but
Caution's out.
Out in the wall, too.
Car in the wall in turn 2.
Oh, wow.
91 hard, Kyle Weatherman. And Kyle's trying to climb out of that car quickly.
You see right here, the 91. Toward the bottom, and there it is.
Oh.
Tad Boyd, the spotter, was right. That
Whatever it was, he used up all his luck.
That was a huge hit.
Always so close.
It's for a car that had issues today. He's 22 laps behind, back in 30 seconds. So when a company like Joe Gibbs Racing, you know, they do a great job of kind of promoting from within and grooming this talent.
You see when the jet dryer
Yeah, I
goes,
need to hold a NASCAR race in my
the
front
gray
lawn.
gets lighter.
Get some rain.
After it has been through there. So they are drying turns.
Yeah,
3
I wonder
and
if it
4
was like
right
he used
now,
up all his
hoping
luck
to get the
already?
restart at overtime here in Michigan.
Or maybe he just like won a lot.
Creed to the bottom of the racetrack. He still has a little bit of help with Nemechek. Down the backstretch, the field, 2 by 2 for 5th and a big wreck. The 88 gets caught up in Carson Kvapil. The caution comes out, that will end the race. Upside down and over, goes to 28. So Kyle Sieg back on his wheels. Why this caution came out.
Yeah, 3 wide down the back straightaway. Like somebody got in the right rear of Kvapil, and that just piled everybody up. Sieg upside down into the wall.
Here we go. So it seems like it's hard to tell, but 45.
When you
gets
were
into the
watching
right
this, though,
rear
we didn't
of
know
the 88 gets
the car flipped
spinning.
over. So everyone's like, why do we
That's a
throw
scary
the
wreck
yellow
to
for that one
see.
wreck? And then the camera flipped, and you're like, oh,
And
understood.
will win in Michigan. Career win number
Chad, what do you
25
rate
for
this
Justin
race out of
Allgaier,
10?
His first win here at Michigan, and he breaks the tie that he was in with Tommy Houston and Dale Earnhardt Jr. and moves him into 10th all time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series win list. Through the hatch, he will come.
Like something from
Dave.
NASCAR Heat 5. It says 8 out of 10, very Michigan.
And there he is, Michigan International Speedway, your winner, Justin Allgaier. A lot of Allgaier fans have been coming out here for years, hoping he would win here at
Doctor
their
says
home
7 out of
track.
10. Wait, why?
And he's gonna
7.8?
do it
Okay, I'll take a
today.
7. I'll take a high 7.
Hey, race fans, thanks for watching.
Hey, race fans, that's us. That was your Michigan highlights. I don't know if anyone listened to the 97 radio where they were talking back and forth for a little bit, and they're like, how much rain? Enough to make the track wet. He goes, brilliant observation there. He goes, I'm here for you, bud. And they're just having some good old fun in the 97 radio. They're like, how much rain is it? Well, the track's wet. So good enough for me. 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10? I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I agree with that. I concur. We do have our overall Xfinity regular season points is Cole Custer followed by Justin Allgaier, going on to Austin Hill, Chandler Smith, and then AJ Allmendinger, as we mentioned. He is 5th in overall points for the regular season, followed by Herbst, Creed, Love, Kligerman, and Smith rounds out your top 10. Again, don't know what Sheldon Creed did in a past life to keep coming in P2, but one day Sheldon will get the win. I don't know how we'll celebrate on this stream, but we've watched so many race highlights and we talked about it time and time again, how close he's been. And can't make it stick. Always the bridesmaid. But for your overall playoff picture, we have just above the cut line, Parker Kligerman with plus 16, Sammy Smith plus 1, Sheldon Creed with plus 70, and then AJ Allmendinger at 100 and plus 102. So Sheldon Creed is NASCAR's Valtteri Bottas. Leave Valtteri out of this, okay? I wouldn't say that currently. I would say who's the current constantly P2? It's like Ferrari, like Charles Leclerc. Carlos Sainz, always in that P2 category, never in the P1 unless it's Monaco. The under yellow finish brought it down for me. Yeah, well, it's just how it works out, right? Final lap. They grabbed the white flag, so Valtteri Bottas. He can't escape. Even in the NASCAR Twitch channel, someone's got to bring it up. Sad. Chad mentioning in the YouTube, Denny said on his podcast that he'd rather go upside down than hit the wall. Interesting. 8.8 race, but an 8.8 for me would have to involve a Busch win, in my honest opinion. Hey, maybe this weekend you heard AJ. And again, if you're just tuning in, we're just going through our regular showcast. Welcome in. AJ, we had the beginning of the show, so you can go rewatch the VOD from the beginning. Going on now to the NASCAR Cup Series, we have the Firekeepers Casino 400 highlights.
The manufacturer's backyard, Michigan, always an important race. Talking with Denny Hamlin, Michigan is one of the tracks that has been circled on the calendar for he and Chris Gabehart for years. Denny told me,
is it going to rain in Daytona?
We've had a car that could win a number of times.
People love to see
that's what I get for sitting in front of a
200 miles an hour as they enter turn 1.
Daytona.
But right now, all of the cars are on pit road, and that is because a little bit of rain is passing through the area. The track is getting very close here in Michigan, so close that they have told the teams they can remove the covers from the cars, and the drivers will be called to their cars at 4:45. And the fans all on their feet, and this is what they've been waiting for. Green flag is out. We're racing.
45% chance. Love the double McDonald's cars. That was cool.
As those two went side by side, the run of Bubba Wallace blew by them both, and Bubba Wallace has taken the lead here at Michigan.
Great turnout for a Monday race. That's a great
racetrack
point,
position. As the 11 and the 23 continue to fight for the lead, and the 11 goes around. The 11 slid into the wall and then into the grass. He goes. Caution comes out.
I forget, Denny did have pole.
That's the other side of that wake we've been talking about.
Spun by himself.
As Blaney will come out of turn 4 and a comfortable lead over Chase Elliott will give him the stage
spins
win.
And you hear all these
Third
cheers.
stage win already of 2024 for Blaney, and Bowman goes all the way down.
Denny
to
had the most interesting reception
so
at the driver intros for Chicago.
That spot? It was really close at scoring that he didn't, but that mattered to Chastain because Chastain finished 9th there.
Well, we do not like the looks of that. I'm sure the fans here.
If NASCAR brings the rain to Daytona, I'm going to cry.
Over to their left.
On the red
that's just
car,
more tears.
We're not sure. It sounds like that's on the pit box, but let's get these cars covered up, sealed up. We don't want weather to affect somebody's day as far as messing up the electronics.
No, and if there were any lightning in this, it also clears the pit road quicker. If you go ahead and get on pit road before it starts. It's just safer and better for everybody.
The rains once again have come, and the drivers are out of their cars. We're under a red flag condition. Mother Nature interfered. Cars all came to pit road.
Classic.
Storms came through, and NASCAR made the decision that they would
by rain?
Postpone the race until this morning, and that's why we're seeing them rolling again, and they're about to make that choose decision again. It'll be 55 laps complete when they get to the line,
there's a stat about this.
And 65 to go in stage 2. It's underway from Michigan.
Chat, were you guys able to watch live on Monday? Because I definitely may have not answered a few emails during that time.
Line, get down to the bottom of the racetrack, making it 3 wide going into turn 1.
About 4 wide there of the 4th row. Briscoe in that blue and white car on the outside. He made it 3 wide in the middle of the corner. Big gain for him. He's underneath the 47. Senhouse drives in the corner, tries to slide him.
Not able to watch.
Around the car goes, and he just ran out of racetrack trying to save it.
Denny said he got greedy when he spun. Even though the car looked perfect, he said the bottom arrow was destroyed after going through the grass, which is why he fell so far down the list.
Caution is back out at Michigan, and this time it was from 3
Say
different
what you will about
issues.
Denny. I do appreciate the podcast having another perspective.
We saw Gilliland, the 22 of Logano, and then also Allmendinger.
I checked fantasy twice during that time.
It all happened at once. Right rear tires, it looks like on all 3 of them. Jeff, you and I were having a conversation. You know, this is a track where you use the rear air pressure to kind of get the car in a good aero position, let it squish down more.
Dave, how about the entry to the pit stall for the 21 of Harrison Burton?
It was a bit challenging this time, Rick. I don't believe he received any contact. Nonetheless, you watch the arrow there on the 21 of Harrison Burton. As he comes in and makes that hard turn to the left, he's also
I watched live, but a lot of people in the NASCAR Discord were apparently watching while in class. Not that we condone that, but thank you so much for watching.
Great job by Jeremy Bullins letting everybody know he was legal and go ahead and pit the car.
Yes,
big shove there coming from the 3 of Austin Dillon to Ty Gibbs. Pushes him out and trying to close the gap on Chastain and Busch, who rocketed on this restart. Oh, and around goes to 5. Big Kyle Larson involved in this one, as well as the 14 of Briscoe. Multiple cars. You see Buescher, last year's winner.
Yeah, nothing he can do. Larson's just on the slide right now. Now he's in the gas trying to keep from hitting the wall. Bubba Wallace trying to avoid him. Contact. Gilliland comes in hard.
As Byron has gotten in front of Busch, now that's going to help him with fuel. He can draft right behind the 24.
Yeah, it's going to help him with fuel, but he really want to try to get out there and stretch the lead. And these cars behind trying to catch up and get there. You see the 6.
Corey LaJoie bringing out the caution. He was just upside down.
Are they going to show a replay? Oh, they are. I was like, what? They just cut right to it.
Noah. A little bit of contact on with the right front fender. Car turned sideways and just flipped in the air. That is.
I believe the car was sent to
honestly,
the R&D center just to check it out real quick.
Not acceptable. There's no way.
So that meteorologist tweeted about how windy it was in Michigan.
Turns like that should get up in the air that easy.
And you see right there, slide, that gives you a great view of the whole underbody we talk about, the underwing, everything that people.
Are they going to show the onboard? That's the one that was just like.
For damage, and then here it catches the grass and a couple pretty violent tumbles. I mean, you said it, Rick. 3,000 pounds. It looks like a Matchbox car. The roof flaps are designed to keep these cars on the ground. That car left roof flaps up. Hood flaps are both up right here, which normally set the car back down, not for the 7 of LaJoie instantly in the air, flipping him onto his roof, a big slide on his roof, all the way down into the grass, Jeff. We haven't seen a car flip that quickly by itself in quite some time. So let's take a look at our virtual Toyota car, and let's talk about exactly these safety features and how they should work. I circled them in the replay. The hood flaps let the pressure out from underneath the hood. The roof flaps are supposed to lower the speed over the car. The right roof flap, when it opens, it's actually connected to a flap as well down in the diffuser for the underbody. Now, when the car gets straight
I absolutely
backwards,
love this. Every single time I see
diffuser
it.
flap makes a big difference. The goal is to keep the car on the racetrack. But in this 7 situation, obviously it's going to be really looked at because it isn't what happened. So as we put this car into the kind of wind tunnel and show you what we're looking for, right? When the car spins around,
you're saying I guess the car needs side
pressure
flaps
under
now?
the hood that opens the hood flaps. It's the airspeed going over the roof that opens the roof flaps. And then right there you see kind of the red glow.
And we're hearing from NASCAR and the AMR safety that the 7. And Corey LaJoie has been evaluated and released from the infield care center. Great news there.
Done a great job at Joe Gibbs Racing. A great partner to this team as well. Whoa, we got a problem.
The 19 slow off turn 4. I can't tell if it's a tire.
Caution has come out. There'll be a restart.
He got up in the wall. He seems to be back up
And
to
here
speed.
started overtime.
Yeah, so now some very difficult decisions. Let's listen to what they had to say.
This is a joke? Come on. Bull. Touch the wall. There's some paint on the racetrack. Good grief.
Keselowski goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Here
I love
comes
raw
Reddick on the
motion.
outside once again. Reddick with momentum going down the backstretch, and look at him fan out behind him.
Whoa!
And around goes the 1. Ross Chastain spins into the inside wall. Caution comes out.
Look at this. He is just behind on the steering, could never get caught back up.
And that car tried to lift and actually set back down, which is what we'd love
In
to
overtime,
see
though,
with
that didn't
cars
change
spinning.
anything.
One more set of turns.
This time around.
Reddick with a 3-car length advantage now. Pulling away as he comes out of 4.
He also didn't have the preferred
Tyler
restart lane.
Reddick is going to win again. This time it's in Michigan.
Hell yeah, Tyler. You are the man. How about that for improving some Michigan stats?
And that team is going to start celebrating. And I'm sure this is going to be a very emotional win for Tyler Reddick.
It should have
As
rained
his
when Rowdy was
mentor,
leading.
Scott Bloomquist lost his life in an airplane accident earlier this week.
Yeah, this was for Scott.
The fans here at Michigan saw another great race. And we're glad that they stuck around here on a Monday to enjoy it.
Zane Smith, Carson Hocevar, top 10. Yeah, Smith with the 7th, Carson with his 3rd top 10 in a non-super speedway in a Spire car. Coming off from a P8 last week.
Hey, race fans, thanks for
Oh,
watching
they
our
didn't show
video.
the post-race interview. Oh, man. Oh, man. He was holding his kid. He was talking about Scott. I cried. I'm a secret softie. Don't tell anybody. I thought that was a great win. Love how well that 7-7 runs. Luke Lambert's a great crew chief. I mean, we were talking about it, last week. Carson's killing it. 7-7, the 77 team, proving they deserve to be considered by higher tier teams. So, I did see this quote on Reddit that from CFB coach guy. He reminds me of a good bit like the early career Kurt Busch. All the talent is there. Currently, his biggest obstacle is himself at the moment, but he could work through that. Since mid-May, Reddick has only finished worse than 8th. Only once is the stat there as well. So, it was kind of about time. I've seen too many sad Tyler Reddick P2 interviews that I'm so glad that he got the win, because we got to see a very great, incredible win right there in Michigan. So, Blaney did lose 13 spots that the last half lap because of Elliott getting loose. I think the 9 helped the 48 into the fence in a way. That was going on over back there that we didn't get to see because we were watching the front. So yeah, Blaney unfortunately did lose those 13 spots. Spire getting good. Is what Nano's saying. Yeah, Zane Smith did an incredible job. Kind of okay with the Kurt Busch comparison there. You did miss AJ Allmendinger. He was right in the very beginning, Corey. So you make sure you just rewatch the VOD from there. Moving on to Daytona. We do have your from around the track, your betting segment from Erica to see what we should expect. And then we're going to go through a little bit of NASCAR fantasy, a little bit through the paint schemes, what to expect in Daytona, because we do have all our series racing for this weekend. We do have kind of a little backwards. Xfinity on Friday, Cup on Saturday, and then Truck will be racing on Sunday at Milwaukee, though, on FS1. So let's get into that betting segment with Erica and go on to preview Daytona. It's gonna be a fun one.
It's time now for Easy Money with E. Joining me, our betting expert, Erica Davis. Erica, coming out of the weekend at Michigan. Chris Buescher, I know, was one of the names you mentioned. What did his top 6 finish get for us this week?
Well, a top 6 finish, Jesse, didn't get much for us, but him finishing as a top 10 finisher was amazing. He was minus 160 in that spot, and I was a little bit hesitant last week going there because it was kind of juiced, but luckily we did because that ended up putting some money in our pocket. Now, we also had another bet that hit if you took the straight bets. I did a cross-sport 2-leg parlay featuring the Detroit Lions, and they covered against the Kansas City Chiefs. So if you took that, you hit there as well.
Well, looking at this weekend, the unpredictability of Daytona is what's on everyone's minds. But how does that come into play when we're looking at the betting world?
Everyone should know by now that betting on super speedways is not the same kind of beast that betting on, let's say, short tracks, intermediate tracks, or even road courses is, because there is, as you said, Jesse, an air of unpredictability. So because of that unpredictability, bookmakers adjust the lines, they handicap the lines to make them longer than they would be in a normal or an average NASCAR race weekend. So you make more money, but only if your bet hits, of course. But that also means that there is greater risk. So how do we mitigate that risk? Well, I would say that to mitigate the risk in a super speedway weekend, instead of betting an entire unit in some spots, just decide to bet half a unit. Or you should just budget your overall bankroll. Instead of betting $50 on the entire weekend, maybe bet 25 or 30. But you walk into super speedway weekend knowing that you probably aren't going to win a lot of money. You just cross your fingers for a lucky outcome.
Well, that being said, then this week, even more so than others, we're looking at you for your suggestions. What are we looking at going to Daytona when it comes to some outright winners?
The 2 outright winners that I'm looking at are Alex Bowman, and then I'm looking also at Corey LaJoie. Let's go back to Alex Bowman at plus 2,400. I always say this, but make sure you shop around because I've seen Bowman's odds at 2 different books as an outright winner at plus 1,800. But yes, I like him in the spot. He finished second at the Daytona 500 this year. He finished fifth at Talladega this year. He finished 6th at this very race last year. That tells us about Bowman that he knows how to run well at a drafting track. Then I got Corey LaJoie in my bet slip at plus 5,000 as an outright winner. And as we know, under normal circumstances, this would typically be on the longer side of the betting board, but because of Super Speedway weekend, Jesse, this actually falls right into the middle of the pack. We like Corey in the spot because he has a 4th place finish at Daytona this year, a 10th place finish at Daytona 500 last year. For bettors who are looking at that crazy wreck that he had in Michigan, I feel you. You might be thinking, oh, okay, well, we don't know how he's going to race this weekend. And I totally get that. But his literal track record shows us that he can hold his own, despite the fact that he might be a little bit shaken up from his accident at Michigan earlier in the week.
What about if we aren't looking to put our money on an outright winner? What about a top 5 finisher? Anybody there you're looking at?
I like that question. I'm going to go Martin Truex Jr. at plus 275 to be a top 5 finisher, but caution. Yeah. I really wanted him as a top 10 finisher, but those odds as of now have not dropped yet, so look out for those. MTJ, top 5 finisher, plus 275. He has a 12th place finish at Atlanta and 11th place finish at Talladega this year. But more than anything, Jesse, he is a seasoned veteran in the field. And we know that it takes a savvy kind of driver to avoid the wrecks, to avoid the pileups, and to basically use a strategy to have success at this kind of track. If anyone can do it, I think MTJ can. That's why I'm going with him in this spot.
And in his last full-time season, you know he's wanting to do something big at Daytona there. I like that pick. We haven't seen a head-to-head pick, though, a head-to-head battle here in a couple weeks. Do we have one for this week?
We're going to go Kyle Busch minus 125 over Briscoe at plus 105. I know you're thinking, why is she taking the minus side of this? Well, I'm taking it because I like Busch's momentum coming off the 4th place finish at Michigan. I know it's a different kind of track, but it's still momentum nonetheless. And Jesse, I've talked so much in the past few weeks about how drivers who are on the bubble, on the outside looking in, who might miss playoffs have to be aggressive. And Busch is one of those drivers. He has to be aggressive this week. He has a legacy to protect. So I expect for him to come out, put himself together a good race this weekend and finish ahead of Briscoe.
That legacy, to your point, 11 consecutive playoff appearances for Kyle Busch, the most of any other driver in the field. He does not want to give that up, so I like that. Keeping an eye on him at Daytona. Anything else bettors should know, though, heading into this weekend?
I want to make sure that everyone remembers to shop around. There's going to be a lot of variation from one book to the next, but also watch the weather. I am from South Georgia, Jesse, and this part of the country, this time of the year, the weather cannot be trusted. So you got the weather, you got the unpredictability of the race, and then just, again, have fun. Know that you probably are not going to walk away a millionaire in this race, but if you do, my social is at Erica Renee D. You can DM me some cash, but actually you can just watch my bonus bets toward the end of the week. I have some more picks coming for you as we get closer to race weekend.
That's right. Be sure you're keeping up with Erica this week because she'll have some more picks and suggestions coming your way on Thursday. Erica, thank you so much for the time. As always, it is so appreciated.
Thank you, Erica. Everyone say thank you. All right. You heard Erica. Let's get to our, let's go to my, fantasy. Oh, I have it up already. Perfect. Okay. I got very lucky last week. Well, mostly because Chad helped me. So here we go. We got my NASCAR fantasy. Okay. I think I saved almost everybody. Do I have Hamlin? Yes, I have one more usage for Denny Hamlin. He's going in now. Tyler Reddick. I feel good. Ty Gibbs. All right, let me put this together and then you judge. Kyle Larson. Oh, sorry. Kyle Busch. Kyle Larson. Do I have Kyle Larson? No. I think I should leave Busher. We can put Bowman in the garage. Bowman. I'm glad Larson wrecked right before the end of the stage 2 instead of right after for fantasy league purposes. I agree because I was able to switch out. A lot of folks were able to switch out in their garage. Who did I have? Definitely Dan. Oh, I want to put Brian Blaney in. I think Busher's an obvious choice. I think Denny Hamlin's an obvious choice. Do I want to sub in? Please, can I click this more easily? I already put in Hamlin. I'm in Blaney. I saved everyone for Daytona. Though not the last race. I saved, just in case, I saved everyone for Daytona. Okay, how do we feel about this? We have a Hamlin, a Reddick, a Busch, a Busher, a Blaney, and a Bowman. Bowman's going to be in the garage. And if you didn't know about this NASCAR fantasy, not only can you only use the drivers only 10 times during the regular season, and then I think it resets for playoffs, you can switch out anyone from your garage to your starter pack, like a pack of cards, before the end of stage 2. McDowell. Can I use it? Who would use who are we switching out for McDowell though? Would you want me to do McDowell instead of Tyler Reddick? Tyler Reddick's gonna have the momentum from this win. Though it's always difficult when people are like, "Oh, who do you think's gonna win the race this weekend?" She's like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Again, I don't know how drivers deal with the unpredictability. Oh, I haven't used McDowell yet at all. Oh, Marco's putting Brad Keselowski. Oh, I have Brad left. Rachel, who are you? If I had to put for one of those 3. Oh, take out Busher and put McDowell? But why? Even though he's won before? There's more confidence in McDowell than Busher. My boy Carson, the iRacer. Yeah, we should get Carson Hocevar on the stream. I agree. Carson Hocevar is the answer. I can feel it. I like a Brad. Wait, are we saying I shouldn't have Tyler Reddick in here? Are we saying I should? I feel like he's like a TBD. Like, oh wait, that's what I mean. A TBD, but more towards definitely a good idea to put in my NASCAR fantasy. Because I think I got P7 in my league. P7, P10, which is pretty good. Comparatively, I've been doing like 24 out of maybe 30 people in my league. No on Reddick. Wow. I already put Kyle Busch. Who do I put in? Keselowski? the Polish in me dying at Keselowski instead of Keselowski, but that's fine. I'll just keep saying it how everyone keeps saying it. Put Bubba Wallace in the garage? Oh, put Bowman in, I do have only one usage of Bubba left. Look, I'm willing to featured matchups. I can wait. Can I make my pick now? Oh, I can. Tyrone, Christopher Bell. I would lean Christopher Bell. I always want to use their full government names, including middle, but they're gonna be like, "Who is this wacko?" It's just the consistency kills me. Every time I've had him in my NASCAR fantasy picks, something always happens. So maybe I'm the jinx. I'm gonna go Reddick. Hamlin Blaney. I'm gonna go Denny Hamlin. Ross Chastain, Chris Buescher. I'm gonna go Chris Buescher. Ty Gibbs, Bubba Wallace. Yeah, I'm going B-Dub. Christopher David Bell. Love the Polish flair. Yeah, I guess a fun story. This is from my NASCAR fantasy picks, by the way. Thank you, chat, so much. I'm probably gonna owe chat something for helping me with my NASCAR fantasy team. Wait, how's my league doing? I just kept scrolling to see my name in 16th, but the points are pretty close. I can make up 500 points. That's fine. I don't know who Scooter is. He hasn't made himself known in my Discord, but whoever Scooter is, I don't know how you're winning so well. Fun story there. My parents did visit Charlotte. They've never been here. I'm sure they've been here before, but they came to see me, say hello. During the day, I had to work, of course, and I told them to go see the NASCAR museum. They were like, "You're kidding," and I was like, "No, I heard it's an incredible museum." They're not NASCAR fans. They immigrated from Poland in the 80s. But just like don't. We've watched Formula One because of Robert Kubica, but Robert Kubica left, so maybe they watch a little bit of what he was doing now in WEC, but otherwise they're not really into racing and such. They went on Tuesday when I grabbed dinner with them yesterday. My parents go, "That was one of the best museums I've ever been to." Chad, I am not exaggerating. Where my Polish immigrant parents were like, "That was so fun." They thought it was so cool. They're like all the interactions you can do. My mom loved you have multiple screens showing what's happening, and you put on a pair of headphones, and the broadcast is narrating one of the screens, and you have to pick what the broadcast is talking about. Mom loved it. She said she got a 6 out of 6, whatever it was. All of them correct. All the cars that are on display, they appreciated. They didn't realize how much information was available to them. They're like, there was a lot of reading. So a lot of information, a lot of the history of NASCAR very easily put well displayed and such. They had such a good time, and they're like, we thought we were going to spend maybe like half an hour in there, because usually for them personally, they're like art museums. You kind of walk through, you observe some, you're in and out. They're like, we spent 2 hours in this museum. We're just reading every single plaque and everything that was possible, and we had such a great time that we didn't realize how much time we spent in there. So 10 out of 10. Recommend the NASCAR museum to anyone who is able to come by in Charlotte, North Carolina. Apparently a great time. That was very heartwarming. And I was like, "You gonna watch now?" My mom's like, "No, I'm not gonna watch." I was like, "Come on!" I was like, "Okay, do me this for especially for this Saturday, right? 7:30. You're off work. Just throw on the NASCAR Cup race. We're gonna be there a while. I think Seth Eager reported there's about 7.8 cautions per this race on average. So throw it on in the background. Just have it up. Any questions? Feel free to text me. But I think you'd have a good time. We have to get him to a race. I think the interactiveness of, if that's a word, of the museum, bringing people to a race, getting them to hear the cars, smell the fuel in the morning, just get bombarded with everything, all their senses, really turns them into race fans. And I think that's really how to get people hooked into racing. And I just think getting them into the NASCAR museum to try everything, kind of a little bit more hands-on, was also like a really good way to do it. So just getting them to a race might solidify it. Daytona race is the best first race to watch. That's what I'm saying. It's also Daytona. How cool. Weather isn't looking good. Okay. Don't jinx it, Ride Tech. All right? Don't have to bring it up. You could just we can just ignore the rain, and then it won't happen. Let's go look at the liveries real quick because I think someone has a pickle car. By someone, I mean the 38. But for some reason, I'm obsessed with this pickle car. I'm Pickle Rick. Is all I keep thinking about. Daytona is a good first race to watch. I think it's going to be put on a show. Ross Chastain. Going through this earlier, Cup is okay. I think Xfinity has it nailed down. Cup is fine. Brad and the King's Hawaiian soft pretzel bites. Love a food livery. Big fan. Okay, I know the Noah Gragson 10 is all in gray. I do still like it. Because everyone else, I enjoy it. If Kyle Busch wins, I might streak the track. Now that I said it out loud, we will be watching you at the stadium. 80% rain on Saturday. Oh, on Saturday, sorry. No, it's not. Don't lie to me. Guys, I'm literally in front of a computer. Daytona rain. Sunday. 40%. Saturday. I keep going Sunday. 50%. It's barbecue weather. Lawn mowing weather. It's fine. It's a 50-50 shot. Ashton literally is. Go on the Weather Channel. What are you looking at? Whatever you say. 101 degrees feels like? Oh my God, if you live in Daytona, I am so sorry. Weather can change in an instant. That's why we all hate the weather guy, right? It's Florida. It's going to rain regardless. There's a 100% chance of it going to rain. Where am I going? Sorry, here, click. There's a 100% chance of raining in Florida, but is it going to rain on my racetrack? No. AccuWeather? Please. If Jim Cantori is in there, we're fine. Agreed. Anyway, moving on. Not going to rain. Ryan Blaney, the number 12 Advanced Auto Parts. Oh, I do like this Chase Briscoe. I like the gray. Because I feel like the gray is just something different than like white and blue. Sorry, Cody. Your car just came up next as a white and blue car. Shane Van Gisbergen is running in the Cup race. He's going to be driving the Safety Culture Chevrolet in the 16. Chris Buescher, of course, classic Bass Pro Shops. The 99 car is amazing. I know, we were getting to that. Interstate Batteries. Keep thinking it's the Mountain Dew car. And I'm so sorry, Interstate Batteries. I will not drink your batteries. Sorry, NASCAR lawyers. We will do not. It is the Interstate Batteries car in this green color. Dex Imaging, the 22. I like the 23. Always great liveries. Paint schemes, excuse me. All right, I'm getting to the 99. I got to talk about everyone else, though. Long John Silver's. Hot debate we had before the stream of who eats at Long John Silver's. Personally, I think I've been there once my entire life, though I've just learned so many people go there. Yeah, producer Rachel's dad goes. I've learned a few of the truck teams actually go there during races, which I was. Yeah, I know Mountain Dew left NASCAR a while ago, but you can always dream. Am I right? We got the pickle car, Todd Gilliland. Also nice and green. All right, I'm getting Money Lion. Ricky Stenhouse. I don't know why this makes me laugh. Little Bites, Biggie Muffins. Capri Sun. We do love a Capri Sun. Beefaroo. It's beefaroo. I say that like I know what that is. I'm sure. I think it's just like a beef. Ty Gibbs in the Reagan car. The actor? No, the president. Reagan is a movie that's coming out, so not Ronald Reagan themselves. Okay, I'm getting to the 99. And here's the 99, which I think the picture doesn't do it justice, but this is Daniel Suarez's car, Coca-Cola Zero Sugar Chevrolet. The 99 is like a chrome. It is chrome. And just like the red and the black from Coca-Cola Zero Sugar branding, it's so good. Ronald Reagan's actually showing up. We're gonna weekend at Bernie's him. Yeah. Sorry, maybe a little too far with that joke. Here we go with Xfinity. We have the Cole Custer and the 00. Here, I think we did a little bit better with the colors. The 1 looks great. 2 looks fine. No one's gonna see the 5. But in the camo dude wipes car, which is, I don't know how those two go together, but I do appreciate it. Allgaier again in the 7. Hellman's 9. Anything that sticks out for me here? I do like the 16. Not because AJ Allmendinger was just on the show. I do like the 16 a lot. All I see is the number 5 and nothing else. Very funny. Oh, Friends of Jacqueline Foundation, a classic. Oh, I didn't know Xfinity was also having a Ronald Reagan car. Interesting. Forever Lawn. Well, that's kind of cool. I kind of like that. I was going to say, I like grass, says the Twitch streamer from her basement. The double O looks horrid? Get out of here. Horrid? That seems like a little... What's wrong with it? It ain't got no gas in it. Yeah, oh yeah, probably doesn't like yellow. Probably doesn't like bright colors. Dude, Skittles Prod does not like these liveries. Okay, I like Xfinity more than the Cup liveries. 16 is great. Think about how fast these cars are going. And if you're a sponsor, right? I think the trees look cool. Says the streamer who doesn't leave her basement. Okay, crocodile cloth, fine. Recycled materials. Ooh, I like this. I like this color scheme. Apps, classic collisions. This is fun with little mud. Oh, the gray, not gonna lie. Interesting. Yeah, Prime Bites Brownie Chevrolet. Do I recommend people to do this? Yes. One of my favorite things to do during a NASCAR race when I do watch longs is I like to Google a lot of sponsors. I've learned, oh my gosh, who was sponsored by Georgia Peanuts a while ago? Someone was sponsored by Georgia Peanuts. Then I learned that Georgia, like, the number one export of the state of Georgia is peanuts. You would think peaches, but it was peanuts. And it was like, oh, it was David Gillen. Thank you. Yeah, so learned a lot about Georgia's peanut business, which is like in the billions with a B. It's like Georgia has the most for like the peanut industry, and then the state after like significantly drops. Like if you look at the charts, it's insane. Oh gosh, here we go again with the peanuts. I'm just saying. My favorite one, call before you dig, 811. We spend billions of dollars fixing utility lines. Look, I know this sounds crazy, but I'm saying these sponsors are a reason that we, first of all, get to race, but two, they have something they're trying to either sell us or like promote. And you better call 811 before you dig. I don't know what these Prime Bites Brownie Chevrolet. I don't think this is solving an issue. I think they just want you to buy their brownies. So definitely not like an 811 thing. I do find it interesting they have the TikTok shop. If you're in the United States, you definitely know if you scroll through TikTok, the TikTok shop just constantly on your For You page. When I was in Europe, it was actually really nice because they weren't on too much. They weren't as bombarded, but I guess you could buy these Prime Bites brownies on the TikTok shop, which is kind of a neat way to advertise. Because what age bracket is usually on TikTok shop? 81, 97. Oh, I didn't expect the purple. That's nice. 98, classic. And then we're going to trucks. The trucks are kind of meh, says Chad. Maybe standard. Solid, fine. I like this Game Bridge one. Gosh, who was in here last week or 2 weeks ago? Someone in chat was just not a fun. Was just not having a good time with the Game Bridge livery. They were like, it was their personal mission to speak ill of Game Bridge liveries. And I was like, this looks great, this paint scheme. Sorry, I keep saying livery. Paint scheme. Love the blue. Like the yellow stripe. If you have stripes in your car, 2/10 faster. I don't make the rules. Okay. Dean Thompson. Normal. Oh. This is meh? I like the skull. I guess it's all preference. I understand. 17, 38, fine. 41, fine. 42, fine. 44, fine. 45, fine. Number 2 is decent. Oh my gosh, Skittles, how are you saying the 2 is... Oh, the 2 is decent. Okay. No, I agree with you. Sorry. I take back everything I was about to say. 44 is great. 45, 46, 56, 71, classic. 77. Yeah. Okay. I have to agree. Trucks are trucks. They look fine. My favorite one would be the Game Bridge one. Number 5 is perfect. Oh, do you just like black as like a main color for and then like blue accents and things like that? It depends what you do with the negative space. And chat, don't make me do this again. We could design a livery if you want, live on stream, and we can see how good you are at designing liveries. 45 is giving me Margaritaville vibes, says Ray. Wait, how does it give you? Because it just has bright colors. Trucks need more silver cars. It's just Margaritaville, just because they have bright, fun colors. Give me a Jimmy Buffett car stat. Cheeseburger in paradise, parrots everywhere, bright, fun colors. Jimmy Buffett 400, Margaritaville 400. Homestead, done. End it. Chat. Thank you so much for hanging out. Big shout out to AJ Allmendinger yet again for joining us, going a little over his time. Greatly appreciate you letting me yap and ask you a bunch of questions. Chat, don't forget this on the Twitch channel. We will be streaming the 1983 Daytona 500 tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. Just trying to get those Twitch numbers up. So if you're interested in just throwing a classics race in the background of whatever you're doing at 1 p.m., we'll be watching it here, 1983 Daytona 500. This Friday, before the Xfinity race, we do have a Kahoot quiz here. We will be building the new NASCAR Lego car as well as doing a Kahoot quiz. So if you're interested in joining us, feel free to stop by this Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Xfinity will be... Did I say Saturday? Did I say Friday? I'm speaking so fast to myself. Kahoots this Friday. Xfinity is also this Friday at 7:30, so right before. Cup is Saturday at 7:30, where it will not be raining. Don't care what anyone says in the chat. And then Truck is in Milwaukee on Sunday at 4 p.m. I hope everyone's taking notes. Schedule's a little bit bananas. And the 34 ran a Margaritaville car earlier this year. Do it again. I wonder how much it would... Wait, I'm writing this down. 34. Okay, thank you so much. It's not going to happen. It's not raining. We're saying it right now, chat. And if it doesn't rain, you only have me to thank. That's all I'm saying. Next week, we'll be back with the show, talking about Daytona, previewing Darlington here at 1 p.m. on Wednesday. Chat, thank you so much. Thank you for being NASCAR fans. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the races this weekend because we'll talk about it on Wednesday. Thank you, NASCAR, for having us. Thank you, AJ, again, for joining us. Have a great rest of your day. Remember, support local, and that includes your racetracks. Bye, everybody.